And we are live. This is January 22nd. We are going to be jumping into your questions and, talking about some upcoming news with the lottery that is not upcoming. It's breaking news, actually, which is pretty exciting with the lottery. But a lot of what we're talking about today are dreams, signs, and intuition. So if you are into that, like I am, then comment. Well, even if you're not, that's okay. You're welcome. We're going to be talking about the lottery too, but let me know, where are you watching from? And let me know your questions in this live chat if you're lucky enough to be here. I see that the chat room is already blowing up. And intuition is extremely, extremely fascinating. We are going to get into that in just a second. But some of you, many of you, are also very interested in the lottery. And there's a really big story that I just saw it just a little bit ago. But let's see if we can pull this up here with the Powerball, because in the United States, I know viewers here from all over the world, and we're going to get to that in a second because there's some really exciting things happening all over the world with different games. But this Arkansas, in the state of Arkansas, this record second highest ever lottery jackpot recently claimed in Arkansas for 1.8 billion with a B. Good Lord, that is a lot of money. That is one of the highest. It went to 47 consecutive drawings. So that is the most consecutive drawings in history. The second largest Powerball in U.S. lottery in history, 1.8 billion, just claimed in the state of Arkansas. They took the lump sum half right away. I don't know if it wasn't exactly half, but they took the lump sum of $834.9 million before taxes. Wow. That is so much money. And they claimed it anonymously, by the way. So what would you guys do if that happened? When that happens, if that happens, I mean, it's really incredible. So, but I know people here are watching from all over the world, and right now, let's pull this up. So we are going to get into intuition and manifestation, dreaming about things before they happen, because it's so interesting. But you can see there that the Mega Millions today is 266 million, the highest around the world at the moment. Euro Millions, 99 million euros. That's tax-free in a lot of countries. So imagine winning that. It's just incredible. But let me know, where are you watching from if you are here? And I see this chat room is blowing up. California, Diana Paredes, hello to you. Hello in South Africa, Pennsylvania. I love it. Ohio, motivation and positive vibes, Timothy. Jimmy Williams, hello to you in Ohio. All right. So, London is here. Inspirational with Nicole. Hello in London. It's about time to interview another Euro Millions winner. I know that. But we do have, it won't be very long, just maybe a week or two, we do have another interview coming out with a major lottery winner from the UK. So watch for that coming soon. I will win the lottery, says Metigno. Hi, Tim. I'm going to take the annuity. So you're going to take the annuity. This major winner in Arkansas just took the lump sum, which a lot of lottery winners do in the USA once they speak with financial advisors, which is interesting. Bronx, New York. Great blessings. Hello in the Bronx. Phoenix. Hello. Texas. New York City. Phoenix. Two people in Phoenix, maybe. Alabama is in the house. And here is one free membership. So one person was selected randomly to become a member of this channel, thanks to Free Blessings. Let's give a huge shout out to Free Blessings. Blessings to you. Bangladesh is here. Denmark. Hello in Denmark. Danny, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining from Denmark. Los Angeles, love your videos. Marco M. Hello in LA. Hello. Washington, D.C., Kansas, Melbourne. Hello in Australia. Did you guys, so there was just an interview released yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, with Angela from New Zealand. And obviously that's not Australia, but but it's, in the neighborhood somewhat. And it was very interesting. But she's very much into what we're going to be talking about today: intuition, manifestation, that sort of thing. Did you guys watch that? But she won a 45,000, I believe it was 45,000 prize. Did you guys watch that interview, that short testimonial? It was very interesting if you're into that sort of thing, which a lot of people are. I'm very interested in that. But if you watch that, let me know what you thought of that. From Mississippi. All right. Hello in Mississippi. We need more of the vibe reset guy. Vibe. Oh, so yes, Michael Lozier. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, he's very much into the vibration, our vibration, and all about our vibe. Did you guys watch that? He's a best-selling author, and his book is very interesting. But he came onto the program, and he also does these readings with magnets. And did you guys watch this interview? But he did this reading with me in the interview. I didn't even expect it. That wasn't why I wanted to interview him. And I had my knees were sore because, for people that don't know, I'm very much I exercise practically every day. I lift weights or do Muay Thai or run, and my knees were kind of sore. And they have been for years, literally years. And so he did this reading over when we were doing this interview and used these magnets. And it was really astonishing to me that the pain was gone from my knees. So where he's coming from is it's taking, it's all about the vibration, like you say, and he used magnets and gets into your subconscious. And I found it very, very interesting. So what do you guys think about that? And here, Scotland, Vietnam, Ohio. What's up, Timothy? Do you ever receive any great questions while in meditation? Any great questions? Thanks for your comment, eSnap Official 369. It's great to see you. When I'm in meditation, I receive, I would say, some people call them downloads and stuff. I don't use that word for myself, but some people call them that. Sometimes I receive information or like an epiphany about things. Things just fall into place, or sometimes I'll see something like someone from years ago, maybe that's passed away, or receive information about something that is relevant to my life that I just find very, very interesting. So, but regardless, that doesn't happen every time I meditate. But I think meditation, they've proven that it does a lot for your everything. It helps you relax. It helps you alleviate stress. And for me, another thing that I try to do is connect with what I call the other side, or whether you call that God or the quantum field and that sort of thing. But it's so interesting. And that's one of the reasons why I do that, in addition to all the other obvious benefits of meditating. Peace and blessings from Philly. Rob, hello, Rob. Peace and blessings to you. Northern Europe, from a country next to Russia. Well, thanks for joining from Northern Europe. Thank you. Okay. When you had the dream about winning the lottery, did you meditate or just talk to the universe or anything? Augusto Rodriguez. That's a very good question, because we are talking about dreams, signs, and intuition today. And so many of you know that I had a dream about winning the lottery. It was right about 3 months before I won the Powerball jackpot in the USA. And the dream was so real and so vivid that I believed that it was going to happen. I started playing more consistently, and I actually sold myself the ticket at a gas station that I was working at. And I told people I was going to win and all these things. So when it did happen, it was especially surreal. I think it's surreal for anybody, but it was very, very surreal. But the thing is, I had other dreams prior to that dream that felt similar in nature. And since that dream, I've had tons of them as well. And I'm so passionate about dreaming about things before or as they're happening, or our intuition. I believe that it's real. It's very real for me. And I know not everyone necessarily believes that or has experienced that, but I find it fascinating, which is one of the reasons why I meet and interview people on this channel about these types of topics. Is very interesting. And so, to your question, did you meditate? I believe, in retrospect, that I was in a state of mind where I was sort of like a meditative state, but it wasn't intentional. I didn't even know what the word meditation meant at the time. I didn't know how to meditate, but I knew what I had done before, which is what I did, which was completely relax, put out an intention into the universe, whether you call it God or the universe or the quantum, put out the intention, completely relax, and then let go and see what information comes to you. And that's the information. I mean, that's what I dreamt about. So that's what happened to me. I wasn't asking to show me about the lottery necessarily. I was just looking for some hope because I was very depressed that day. I was very feeling down on my luck. So that's how it happened to me. But it's a good question. But there's lots of ways. You don't have to have a dream about it to, of course, have a chance to win the lottery. Always play responsibly if you play. I'm not encouraging you to play, but I find these things interesting. Whether it's a dream or you're just thinking about something and it pops up in your life all of a sudden, or somebody, like that sort of thing. I don't believe necessarily that those are coincidences. And so I did put together a free guide, which I pinned in this live chat. If you're lucky enough to be here, if this is no longer live, we're going to pin it below. A free guide of 7 signs the universe is speaking to you. So you can check that out if you're into this sort of thing. But I'm up next to win the Powerball. Antoine Murray. All right. I wish you good luck if you play. Play responsibly if you do, though. Consciousness is reality. What you spend time thinking, you become. Master your mind like Kobe. Active thought police. Thanks for your comment. I mean, yeah, consciousness, I think, from a lot of people I've met and interviewed and from my own experiences, I do think, what do you guys think about the premise of it extending beyond your body? Like, because for example, quantum entanglement. Someone just won, it was a major prize in physics just a few years ago for quantum entanglement. Like, it's not really a hypothesis anymore. It's a real thing. That's just one example, but I believe that consciousness extends beyond, and I've interviewed other scientists and people talking about that. Is very, very interesting. Life's just a dream in a dream. Some people believe that we are living in the Matrix. What do you guys think about that? Have you seen the Matrix? I think it's one of the best movies ever. So when it came out, after I'd won the lottery, I was really, it's like, oh my gosh, I could really relate, because it's in addition to being a good movie, is very, very interesting. I've had emotion code sessions about 3 times. So you're talking about with Michael Lozier, who we were talking about earlier. All right. Wow. Selling yourself the winning ticket is phenomenal. Thank you. It was really, really surreal, but it definitely works. Oh, number 22 again. Number 22. I don't know what 22. I like 22 though. It's a good number. But speaking of numbers, I am not one to like give out lottery numbers or anything like that, but we did a live last week. And someone asked for 5 random numbers. And it turns out that 4 out of the 5 random numbers that I said last week actually showed up in the Texas Cash 5 draw. So take that for whatever you will. I want to be clear, though, I'm not predicting lottery numbers or encouraging anyone to play the lottery, but moments like this are interesting. I find it very interesting. And it's not the first time that something like this has happened in these lives either. It happens fairly often. And so for me, it just makes you start asking deeper questions about coincidence, intuition, and how we interpret meaning. Like, what is luck? What is luck? That's another question. Comment in this live chat. What are your thoughts? And looking for, and what are your thoughts on intuition as well? Because I find it completely fascinating. And one more question here. Have you ever dreamt of winning the lottery? Because many of you have. I want to hear your stories. Comment in this live chat. You don't need to have a dream about it, of course, to have a chance. But, it does happen to some people. I think you have active kundalini, Tim. Well, thank you for, I think that's a compliment. Kundalini is, I've never intentionally practiced it, but from what I know of it, it's completely fascinating. I know there's some high profile people, celebrities, and musicians who do practice it. So, I mean, I'm very curious to try it. I need a study on people who dreamed of winning the lottery but never did. Who dreamed of winning the lottery but never did. Oh, you mean so people that have dreamt of it but did not win. Is that what you mean? Because I think that's what you mean. There are people that have won literally decades after dreaming about it, and they kept playing the same numbers. They dreamt the numbers, or they kept on and they won. So that has happened to some people. Some people, it's happened literally the next day. So yeah, dreaming about that sort of thing is interesting. But luck is perfect timing, says Daffodils. And here is a very generous lucky twos, the 222-pound super from Sorrel Fraser, who is very inspiring. And she's also a lottery winner herself. She won the postcode lottery in the UK. She's been on this channel a couple times. And she says, brightest blessings, Timothy. Loved the recent interview with Angela that was released yesterday. Sorrel, thank you very much. Blessings to you. Such a huge supporter of this channel. It really, truly means a lot. Thank you for the generous and thoughtful 222-pound super. I hope you are doing well. ChatGPT helped me get the winning numbers for Saturday, Arizona, to pick 3.2 million. Well, Joey, that's interesting because 2 or 3 years ago on this channel, I tried to get lottery winners, to get lottery numbers from ChatGPT. And it kept telling me, no, you can't do that. It's against our, basically said it wouldn't do it. And so I had to initiate, it was called ChatGPT Diablo, the dark side of ChatGPT. And so I did this, and eventually it gave me numbers. Those numbers did not win, by the way, but it made for a pretty entertaining video because it was telling me all kinds of, it's like really insulting me because that's what I instructed it to do. And it's a pretty funny video if you guys haven't watched that. But dreamed of winning when I was in my 20s. I am now 67 and expecting to win from Alberta, Canada. Quantum Success Marketing. Thank you for joining from Alberta, Canada. Thank you so much. It is time. It's about time to interview another Canadian lottery winner. And I actually have an interview coming up. It is en route. So just wait a few weeks. There will be another one. But if you win Quantum Success Marketing, then please remember me. We can keep you anonymous too. We can blur your image, disguise your voice. And if you have a story about intuition or some of these things we're talking about today, all the better. And if you don't, that's okay too. But we do want to talk to you. I will be your first Euro jackpot winner to interview very soon. What do you think about the dream? What do you think about dreams with numbers, not lotto numbers, but a winning amount? Like I dreamt of winning 489 million, or a combination of these numbers. Oh, or 498. Well, if that happened to me, I would probably play when it reached that specific amount, if I dreamt of a specific amount. But that doesn't mean that you need to do that, because I think what really matters is how it felt to you, How did it feel to you? How real was it? And what are your thoughts on it? Like, do you believe that that was like a sign? Or do you, I mean, how do you feel about it? That's what I would say, because that's what really, really matters. But if you do play, then I'm not encouraging you to play, but if you do, then, play responsibly. But if that happened to me, I would probably play when it got to be that amount. But and it's interesting when those things do happen. $2 for Lucky for Life to $5 Millionaire for Life doesn't sound like a deal. Ghostface, thanks for your question. Or that's not a question. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Thanks for your opinion. And I love your name, Ghostface, because I love horror movies. And also in Jamaica, a major lottery winner claimed a jackpot wearing a ghost face scream mask. Did you guys see that? It's a few years ago. The wealth building journey for the extremely generous 1999 super. This is amazing. This is the year I won the Powerball. So every time I see this, I just have to give such a huge shout out to you, the wealth building journey, because it is extremely thoughtful. So thank you very much. I believe there is a link between the combination of both Vedic and Western astrology and heightened intuition. Can you have an astrologer on who is an expert in both Vedic and Western astrology? Yeah, I mean, absolutely, we can do that. I've interviewed one Vedic astrologer on here a couple times. She's a very popular TikTok page, and she read my chart on the interview. It was very interesting, but it'd be great to get someone that either can do both Western and Vedic, or does Western as well, just for some contrast. So that'd be great, and I will definitely look into that. Thanks so much for the very generous super and for your support. I really appreciate that. It truly, truly means a lot, especially in 1999. Did you ever end up becoming another statistic of lottery winners who spent it all? Not sure. I believe that 70 to 80% spent it all. Well, that's a good question. And the truth is, many of you know that I'm writing a book about my experience of winning the lottery and how it's changed my life. And also, of course, I've met and interviewed and continue to interview other lottery winners from all over the world, of all kinds of amounts, from a few thousand to hundreds of millions. And within doing this book, I had a discovery, actually, because it's one thing that comes up again and again with different people and journalists and so forth about the statistic of so many lottery winners going broke. And what I found in the actual research, rather than the myth, which I bought into it, I thought it was real. But once you actually look into the research, I mean, it's pretty astonishing that the statistics and everything, they don't show that. There's anecdotal stories that happens to some people, but it doesn't happen to most people. Certainly not 70 to 80% of the winners. It just doesn't, especially when you're talking about people that have won major prizes of millions. Maybe if you win just a few thousand, it's a lot easier to get in trouble with that than it is millions. Stay at it, Tim. $2 from New Zealand, Washington, POD. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings to you. Thanks for your support, for the very generous super. Washington, POD, New Zealand. I really, really greatly appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I had a dream of winning 1 million pounds on the lottery, and I know it will happen. I wake up smiling. I vividly remember the dream and a feeling now. Thanks for your comment. Have you guys ever dreamt about something that came true, like beyond the lottery? I know many people have dreamt about the lottery, and that happened to me, but I've had so many dreams about things before they have happened. And so I am curious, has that ever happened to you? Or have you ever thought about, I mean, this is really common for a lot of people. You're thinking about something and you just have a gut feeling. You just think it's going to go a certain way, and then it does. Like, has that ever happened to you? Because that happens to me all the time. I'm thinking about something and all of a sudden it just shows up in my life. So it's very interesting. And that's one reason why I have to get to this. One reason why I'm excited to announce one of the sponsors of this YouTube channel, Psychic Source, because I'm so interested in intuition and this sort of thing. And so if you've ever wanted to speak with someone about your dreams or intuition, you can check out our channel sponsor, Psychic Source. They do phone, video, and even text readings. And I've had a few myself that some of you have seen here on this YouTube channel, but there's a special offer at trypsychicsource.com/dreambig. We have put a link in the description to try your first 40 minutes for less than $20. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can check that out. But let's jump back into this live chat, because this is blowing up today. Lotto America is still the best game to play at $1 per play. There is no Lotto America in Massachusetts. This sucked. Only in Maine. Okay. Well, thanks for Lotto America. I mean, it is a popular game. It is a popular game. Yes, had a dream of rain, and the very next day I had a leak. Okay, daffodils. Thanks for your comment. How long did it take you to get your money after you won? I believe it was a few weeks. That's a great question. I have had bad things happen that I thought I dreamt, but I wasn't sure. Also, lots of deja vu. Danny, yeah. So deja vu is pretty interesting. Feeling like this has happened before. Like I feel like I'm, in the Matrix. Like this type of thing has happened before. Have you ever felt that way? Because I have. Sometimes it's like, and when you look into, this is going to get a little deep here. So excuse the depth of this, but quantum physics, when you look into that and you really start understanding what people are studying and so forth, when the notion of time is not necessarily linear, it's like something we created. It's a construct because it's relative. So how we perceive it, past to present to future, is not actually, that's just how we perceive it. It's how we perceive it. So quantum physics points to everything happening at the same time with so many different possibilities sort of layered on top of each other. It's really intriguing. It can go really deep, but I only bring this up to say that if that's true, I mean, it is. If you take a stopwatch up to outer space, it's not going to go at the same time. It's not going to go at the same rate as it will here on Earth. You can even tell a slight difference in, here. So if you think about that for a minute, then why is it so crazy to think that you can't tap into something that hasn't happened yet? Or maybe you feel like you have deja vu because maybe it already has happened. What do you guys think about that? I'm just putting it out there, but it's interesting. Here's a $10 super from Richie Paula. Richie, thank you very much for the extremely generous super. Richie, thank you so much. Who says, I had a dream where I was in an office standing in front of a woman at a desk. She told me she had a letter for me. When I read it, I had my name on it, and it said, keep going down the same path. Wow. So that sounds, I mean, just by reading what you've written here, it sounds very, it sounds like a message to me. It sounds like a message. So is that the way? I have a feeling that that's the way that you interpreted it too. But yeah, so it sounds like a positive dream, encouraging that you're on the right path, if I'm interpreting that correctly. But thanks so much for the very generous $10 super and for sharing your experience. I love hearing stories like this. So thanks so much for your support. I sense events just before they happen, like those old PC speakers make a sound of an incoming phone call. So you sense events just before they happen. That's interesting. And you're not alone. That happens to some people. Deja vu is wild. Yes, it is. I can tell I'm vibrating high right now. I love it. I love it. I had a dream that my son got injured in his face, and about 2 days later it happened. It was a minor injury, thankfully. Wow, Mary. Mary, thanks for being a member, by the way, Mary. Uh, yeah, thanks for sharing your experience. I mean, these things, it's interesting. I love hearing stories like this, like dreaming about something before it happened, although that's, not necessarily, I'm sorry that that happened to your son, but it's interesting that you were able to tap into that, and I'm glad it wasn't anything too serious. I did not have a dream, but I had manifested the sports betting by playing only 10-cent stake and have won 9.8K by predicting 5 match scores at a time. All scores were like 31 or 3 to 1, 3-2, 4-1. All right. Alberto, thanks for your comment and congratulations on your wins. Play responsibly if you play. I'm not encouraging you to play, but hey, I love hearing winning stories. Long time to speak. I had things happen that destroy logic. Time isn't linear, and you can alter the past. I have heard that. I am Jason. I have heard that there are people that claim that, or that say and believe and have studied, and even some quantum physicists who I've heard say that you can alter the past, and people that are very spiritual, by your present, how we perceive it, past, present to future, but with your now, then altering the past. So that is, I have heard that theory. So it's interesting. Thanks so much for your comment. And here's another extremely generous $10 super from Donut Lover 9222. I love that name. There is no hole in that name. Maybe there is, and it's a delicious one. But Donut Lover, thank you for the very generous $10 super. Says, please interview Robert Wagner. He wrote Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to the Inner Self, and it is a life-changing book about what dreams can mean to your life. All right. Well, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write that down right now, because oftentimes your guest suggestions wind up with people that appear on this show and this podcast. So it does happen fairly frequently. So I greatly appreciate the guest suggestion. I will definitely look into that. Thanks so much for the super and for the excellent guest suggestion. And here's a $5 super from Richie Paula. Thank you, Richie, who says, after I read the letter, the dream cut off and I woke up, but my mind felt so fuzzy afterwards. So you had this letter that you received in this dream that told you to stay on the right path, that you were on the right path. And now you're saying that the letter, that the dream cut off and you woke up, but your mind still felt fuzzy afterwards. So that leads to an interesting question with some people, and with me at least. If I when I've dreamt about things before they've happened, I have felt like it feels different. Just feel the sensation, like it feels different for me. So I can identify with what you're saying there. But thanks so much for the very generous $5 super, and for your support, for sharing your experience. I love hearing stories like this. I had a dream with my grandma and my aunts having thousands of wrapped gifts all over, and my grandma saying, all of these thousands of gifts are for you. Does anyone have any suggestions? Tina. Well, if anyone has any suggestions, you can comment in this chat for a suggestion for Tina about that. It sounds interesting. So all of these thousands are gifts for you. I mean, it sounds like a I mean, it's a very rich, I don't know about rich, but I mean, it sounds like an abundance dream. Like you're coming into abundance. That's what it sounds like to me from the outset. But it sounds like a good dream. I mean, I'd love to dream about that. Here's Neon the Phoenix Windfall. Neon Windfall, the Phoenix with the $2 super, who's already a member and huge supporter of this channel, says, which superhero would you be a sidekick for? Which superhero would you be a sidekick for? That is a good question, Neon the Phoenix. out of all the time, like the countless questions I've received over the years, I don't know that I've ever been asked that. So, which superhero would you be a sidekick for? As a kid, I loved the Incredible Hulk, but you know what? A sidekick. If we're talking about a sidekick, I know Superman has a sidekick. He has that dog, and if you've seen the latest Superman, or there's also, Batman has Robin. I don't know if I want to be Robin though. That's a good question. I'm gonna look into that. I love dogs though, so I'm gonna go with Superman's dog at the moment. I'll be a dog. Who here believes in reincarnation? Some people do. Tim, what would you say to people who argue that playing the lottery is a sin, gambling, and that money won from it doesn't align with God's principles? Optimize life. That is a very good question. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What would I say to people who argue that it's a sin to do that? I would say I completely respect where you're coming from. I would say I'm not here to convince you. I would not try to, like, I'm not here to convince anybody of anything they don't already believe. So I would say I respect where you're coming from. Blessings to you, and I wish you luck and abundance in your life. That's what I would say. I think it's okay for people to have different opinions about things. So that's personally what I would say. But you know, obviously, I don't think that. I think blessings can come if you believe in God and that sort of thing. It can come in lots of ways, lots of ways. And I can't tell you how many people I've met and interviewed who attribute their win, at least partially. Well, I don't like saying that word, but they attribute their win to God, and they're very spiritual. So a lot of people do that. The quantum eraser experiment claims to change the past. You can find this easily on YouTube. Yoshi Lucky Jackpot winner. Well, there we go. All right, we'll have to look into that. Thanks so much. 1999 was a great year for me as well. I graduated college while pregnant, and my son was born that August. Wow, 77 Lanaya. All right. So yes, 1999 was one of the best years ever. You can ask Prince about that. But you don't have to ask Prince. You can ask 77 Lanaya. I mean, it's a great year. I did match 4 out of the 5 Powerball numbers just by intuition after I started watching your videos since last Thursday. Wow. Life in Canada. Amazing. Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations. I love hearing stories like that. I've interviewed a few people that were inspired by this channel, and they've won major prize. I'm not encouraging you to play. I'm definitely not encouraging anybody to play. And if you do play, never spend more than you can afford to lose. But having said that, I have interviewed some people that were inspired by this channel, and I love hearing stories like that. So thank you for sharing that. Have you ever interviewed someone who came out maybe more confused or even had doubts about the person you interviewed? Rigo Eats, thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a member. I appreciate that. I don't know if I have came out of interviews more confused. I feel that I first of all, I do a lot of research on every guest. Well, not every guest necessarily, but what I do oftentimes with most guests is if they're a public figure, then of course it's very easy to research. But if it's someone that has won a prize and I don't know their story yet, oftentimes we meet before the interview so I can kind of get a feel for their story and know kind of what to ask. But then once the interview starts, if there's something I'm curious about, then I just ask more questions and try to get more in depth. So that's what I try to do. But that's a great question. Thank you very much. Would you like to play a game? Neon, the Windfall Phoenix. Would I like to play a game? Well, it depends what kind of game you're talking about, Neon, but I do love most games. Who surprised you by not asking for anything after your win? Euphoria Nights, thank you for being a member. So there's one person, well, there's a few people, but there was one thing that just comes to mind at the moment. There's one person, one relative that I offered to do something that I think would have been pretty life changing for them. That I was just being very, literally right after I won, a few weeks, maybe within a few months after winning, and I really felt like I wanted to help them out, and they told me no, they didn't want anything. And so, in retrospect, looking back on that, I have the utmost respect for them because most people that I offered to help did not say no. So, for the person that did, or the couple people that did, then I have so much more. I have a lot of respect for them. Hiya, Tim. I just tuned in and wanted to say hi. Softly becoming Crystal. Hello. Thank you for the very generous $5.99. The lucky 99s on there. The $5.99 super. It is so nice to see you today. And she is a member of this channel as well. Hello to you. Thank you for the very, very generous $5.99 super and for being here. I'm glad you could be here today. Hello, Gina. Hollywood. Cece's in Hollywood. All right. Hello, Cece. I need to interview someone from Hollywood. That's going to happen. Did you see The Simpsons predicted more lottery wins in 2026 than ever before? I did not know that about The Simpsons. So, hey, I learn something every day doing these live chats. So, thank you for that. Second question, Tim. Is there something I can do besides visualization to manifest the winnings or wealth in my life? William. So I think what you're asking about, William, is about manifestation, how to manifest abundance in your life. And, that can come in a lot of forms. But I think what most people are really after at the end of the day is happiness. And many people, and that can come in a lot of forms too. But to be direct with your question, if you're trying to manifest anything in your life, whether it's money or a better relationship or anything else, there's lots of techniques that people do that work for people, including visualization is just one of them. Just one of them. And of course, a lot of pro athletes and stuff do visualization. But, specifically there's tons of things. For example, one thing that you can do that I find for myself that is very helpful is before you go to bed and right after you wake up, before you're fully awake, you tell yourself, or if you believe in God and that sort of thing like I do, then you can do this in prayer, but you just say out loud to the universe, I am so happy and grateful that I am blank. But not just say that and fill in the blank with what you want, but not just say that, but feel it as if it's already happened. And then you do that and you repeat it. And not like over and over again, but like for a period of time, multiple days. So it gets into your subconscious. And so that is one technique that comes to mind, but there's lots of them out there. But the gist of it at the end of the day is becoming that on the inside before it shows in the external world. That is the gist of manifestation. There's different techniques to do that, but I find it very interesting. And it's also interesting to interview scientists and people studying it from that perspective as well. But what do you guys think about that sort of thing? I watch a lot of David from HGTV, My Lottery Dream Home. He finds houses for all the people who win the lottery. It's pretty awesome. Lily, thanks for your comment. Yeah, I've interviewed quite a few different people that have won different prizes who have appeared on that show. So I'm very familiar with it. But I appreciate your comment. Hello, Timothy. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I want to hit the casino this weekend. Sammy Sunshine. I love that name, Sammy Sunshine. And I wish you play responsibly if you do. But I do wish you good luck. Okay. Good answer, William. I don't know what William's answer was. Oh, I see. So people are giving advice, I think, to William from an earlier question. Yes, Tim, I agree with you. I see the lottery as a gift from God. When it's your time, it's simply your time. I don't view it as gambling. If it's played responsibly and treated as a small investment. Optimize life. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comment. Do you still see your friends after winning the lottery? School, work, friends. Augusto Rodriguez. Well, Augusto, in this book, first of all, I haven't really promoted this book that I'm currently finishing. I haven't promoted it much because it's not out there yet. But within doing it, within writing it and editing it, I've done a lot of thinking and introspective thinking about my own experiences. And so when I won the lottery, yes, people, what happened to me was I felt like an outlier, and I put people, there's a very small circle of people that I actually trusted, that they wanted me for the right reasons, a very small circle. And so it was very difficult for me to trust new people. So the people that I was friends with before had way more of a chance to remain friends than new people, I would say, because it was really difficult for me to let anyone in, to trust that they wanted me for the right reasons. And so that's a very short answer, but it wasn't always perfect with friends and stuff, but I'm grateful for even the challenges, the social challenges that came with winning, because I learned from that and it made me who I am today. Tim, what do you say to people who are losing faith, being impatient, or think manifesting, praying, or isn't going to work for them? I also have those thoughts, but immediately shift to positive thoughts. So that's a good question, Rigo. Thank you for your question. That's a good question. What do I think of people who are skeptical about faith, or they've lost their faith and they're skeptical about manifestation or prayer? So what do I say to those people? Well, first of all, I say you're not alone, because a lot of people feel that way. So that's number one. And number two, I think that, at least for me, I can't speak for anyone else. I can't convince anybody else. And you might find this the same way, but I find this, like, especially when it comes to beliefs like this about prayer and the power of faith, the power of being connected to something greater than ourselves. These aren't things that I think are very easy to convince anyone that doesn't believe in them that they should. And so I never try to do that, because I respect where everyone is at. But I personally believe in that. I mean, there's no, in my mind, for me, there's no doubt about any of that. Like the power of faith, the power of being connected to something more, the power of creation, because we are creative beings. And so some people, you can substitute that for manifestation. You're creating. So I do believe in prayer as well. And the studies out there about that sort of thing are fascinating as well, because when you pray for something, this reminds me, so I interviewed a woman, she's one of the most renowned people, Lynn McTaggart, when it comes to consciousness. And that interview has not been released yet, but it was so interesting to hear like what the science says about affecting, with our consciousness affecting things, like our energy affecting tangible things outside of our body, the molecular structure of water, plants, the growth of that. And it can go on and on, but there's been lots of studies on these types of things, and it's very interesting. So, I mean, I'm such a firm believer. I'm passionate about it because I think it's important, and I strongly believe in it, but I'm not trying to convince anybody else of what you don't believe. So will you be doing another live this week? Just asking because they're fun, always brighten my day. Jackie Coate, thank you so much for your support. So this is probably the only live we're doing this particular week. Usually we do lives on Fridays, but there's a pretty notable interview that's happening tomorrow that's going to be recorded. So we switched it to Thursday this week. But thank you so much. But we'll be back next week for another live, most likely on Friday. Timothy, I agree with you. You're interviewing me about my jackpot experience was a success. Neon the Phoenix, thanks for your comment. So we are running kind of short on time. We're going to get to a couple more questions here. After your first big win on the lottery, did you try again? And if you tried, were you close to win again? I love your videos. Wish you all the best. Thanks for your question. I've played like sporadically a few times over the years. I don't play very often, but I do. And yeah, I've won prizes. I haven't won the jackpot again yet, but it's completely possible. And I know that it will happen I don't like to say when the time is right, but I don't play very often, to be honest, because I believe a lot of things of what we're talking about today: intuition, manifestation, connection to source. And so I believe that I will definitely be guided to buy a ticket at the right place at the right time if that's going to happen. Tim was brought into our lives to keep the faith. Troy, thanks, Troy. I appreciate your support. Prayer is so powerful when done correctly. Believe that you have already received what you're praying for, and it's already yours. Caleb didn't, not to get religious, because I respect whether you're spiritual or if you're affiliated with any sort of religion, I have complete respect. But having said that, I do believe that Jesus said something similar about, ask as if it's already yours. And I think, religious stuff aside, I think that is definitely the premise of manifestation. That's the gist of it. That's the secret that it really comes down to. You become it on the inside before it shows in the outside world. Like, become it. So it's faith, it's belief, and it's action steps. It's taking action steps too, but you become it on the inside. You're taking the action steps because you are the person that does. You are that person. So that's the way I think about it. I'm not saying you have to, but I think it's interesting. Tim, if you could go back and talk to yourself before winning in 1999, what would you say? Blank 9652. That is such an excellent question. Thank you very much. If I could go back and talk to myself before I won in 1999, I would say buckle up because things are about to get really, really crazy. I would say to a lot of, hang in there, and congratulations, of course. And listen to your financial advisors, which I did. But I think those are the types, and stay true to yourself. That's what I'd say. But I think, that just comes to mind. There's a lot of things I would say, but that comes to mind. Hey, fam, good luck and blessings to all. Tanya Shaw, good luck to you. Thank you for being a member of this channel. Positive vibrations to all. I love that. Do you meditate? Did you meditate? So we got to that question earlier. I was in a meditative sleep state, but I wasn't intentionally trying to meditate, but I was in a meditative sleep state that I had done before and had other experiences. And I just really sort of let go and completely relaxed. So that's what I did. And also, I did pin in this live chat up here, 7 Signs the Universe is Speaking to You, a free guide. And you can check that out if you're into that sort of thing like I am. But the reason I mentioned that, we lost the comment here. But the reason I mentioned that is that I believe that within that, there's ways, like techniques that I use for people that download that free guide. I will be sending eventually. I'm going to put together a more in-depth course or something eventually. I haven't even started on it, but something that a lot of people are asking, like, what techniques do I personally use? Which ones did I use way back in the day? What techniques do I use now with meditation and that sort of thing? So I am going to put together something with those techniques in a course eventually for people that are interested in that sort of thing. So you can be notified about that if you check out the free guide in the chat. So if you're into that sort of thing. Hello from France. I will win Euro Millions jackpot. Hello in France. I love France. Tim, have you ever met anyone who's won a big time jackpot off a $2 scratch card? The Rowdy one. I love that name. I once hosted a Rowdy and met Roddy Piper. Do you know who that is? R.I.P. Roddy Piper. But the Rowdy 169. Have you ever met anyone who's won a big time jackpot off a $2 scratch card? It's possible. I've interviewed a few people that have won major prizes on scratch tickets. The cost of those tickets, I do not know offhand, off the top of my head, but it's a good question. Looking back on your life that you're a bit older, do you think the lottery was more of a blessing or more of something negative? Skull Trooper 7337. I love your name too. So was it something negative or something more of a blessing? I think it was, in retrospect, I think it was more of it's a blessing. I'm so grateful. For the win and for all the challenges, because there were challenges that came with it socially and psychologically. So there were real challenges, and I'm spoken a lot about those in various interviews and on this channel and in this book that I'm writing as well. But even the challenges I'm grateful for, because it made me who I am today. And so I feel that that's the way it is in life, at least for me. Like, adversity, it makes you, or what you go through, it makes you who you are. So use that instead of, oh, this is terrible, this is awful, I'm the victim. You change your mindset away from the victim mindset. You change it into, when you're not the victim, you're the creator of your own life. I can choose to view it as being a victim because of the challenges that I faced, or I can choose to view it as, hey, I learned these lessons from it. This is what I learned, and it made me who I am today. I'm so grateful. So that's the way I view it. So yeah, don't stop believing. Jackie Coate. Yeah, and that's a good song from Journey too. Old school. Yeah, but belief, the power of belief. Great show today, Tim. Thanks so much. Caleb, thank you for your support. So we are practically just out of time. Like using pretend ticket as a bookmark, your new bookmark. Some people have won major prizes, like using visualization and that sort of thing. Sometimes I've met and interviewed people that have photoshopped themselves in, like holding a giant check and that sort of thing. So that happens too, because I've met people that have done that. But yeah, there's different ways to do visualization. But as we spoke about, it's not the visualization that's as important as the feeling of it. And visualization is a technique to get to the feeling, and the feeling gets to the subconscious. What do you guys think about that? Helen Hatzel was the Queen of Manifesting contest wins. Unfortunately, she died years ago. She would be a super relevant interview on this channel. I would love to have interviewed Helen Hatzel. I have interviewed another contest queen, Carolyn Willman, who's also an author. And she actually has been to Helen Hatzel's house, and she has some of her belongings. And so I have interviewed Carolyn Willman, contest queen. But yes, I would love to have interviewed Helen Hatzel, of course, if she were still here. But I do think she's here in spirit. I do think in fact, I know she is. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Tim. Well, thank you so much, 77 Lanaya. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, wait a second, get that. We gotta get that off of here. I just want to say, wherever you are watching from around the world, thank you so much for your support. There's so many interviews coming soon on this channel, of course, with lottery winners, other lottery winners, but also people that are very much into a lot of things we're talking about today: consciousness, intuition, manifestation, and people that have won major prizes. So watch for these interviews coming soon. I'm so excited to share them with you. I greatly, greatly appreciate your support, and always play responsibly. If you do play the lottery, of course, never spend more than you can afford to lose, but dream big. Dream big. Destiny favors the dreamers. That's what I say anyway. But yeah, thank you so much for your support. We'll see you soon.